Tesla slashes prices. Positive news about it everywhere. But is it actually signaling something else too? Is SpaceX actually going to send Tesla stock to the moon? How does all this affect your Tesla stock? I'll tell you what I'm seeing and what my game plan for Tesla stock is this week. And you can copy off my paper right now. Welcome back, everyone. In this video, we will cover the huge week that just happened. What are the key takeaways from it? And I will lay out my strategy for the coming week. And if you want to be part of this community, crazy kids trying to have a good time, make some money, and maybe learn a little bit along the way with no pressure to use my Webull link in the description for 2 free stocks, or follow me on Patreon, link in the description too, or buy my merch, of which I have none. Go ahead and subscribe, hit that little notifications bell, and while you're down there, go ahead and hit the like button as well. So let's recap the prior week. Monday, the market was closed. Tuesday, the Dow was up 529 points. Wednesday, the Dow was up 553 points. Thursday, the Dow was down 147 points. And Friday, the Dow was down 17 points. So let's do some super technical analysis. So it's official. It was announced this week. Elon met the criteria to trigger his compensation package. He just needed the stock to basically get where it is now, reach a 6-month average market cap of 100 billion. No big deal for Tesla. And then it would trigger the first part of his pay package. So for those of you that don't know, his pay package now allows him to buy up to 1.69 million shares of Tesla stock at $350 a piece. How many of us would love to buy at that price again? So if Elon were to exercise those options in full and then sell the stock for Friday's price of $835, he would profit about a little bit over $819 million instantly. Million. Looks like an M, doesn't it? Yeah, M. So the super technical analysis once again is, that is a stupid, ridiculous, crazy amount of money. What are my takeaways from the week? There are really 3 big takeaways from the week for me. The first, record unemployment continued again. So we had another 2 million people file for unemployment this week. So that continues the unprecedented pace of unemployment. Just look at this chart. It's ridiculous. I know you guys are tired of seeing it, but it basically is telling us that there is over 40 million people out of work right now since this all started. And with only 157 million working Americans, you can do the math on how many people are out of work right now. It's just crazy. Great Depression levels of unemployment. And keep in mind, unemployment is at a pace where it's going to take years, not months, but years to get back to a normal level of unemployment. I actually put all the data in my 5 reasons the stock market will crash video. I'll put that up at the end so you don't even have to go search for it. It'll just pop up right there at the end. But there are still some that want to argue that it's going to take, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months to get back. So let me approach this from a little bit of a different perspective here and tell you what I think is going to hold back the unemployment problem for years, in my opinion, of course. So tell me if you've noticed this. Have you noticed most companies have reduced everything to include their jobs where people have to work at home? I think we can all agree most companies have reduced everything, including jobs where people can work at home in the first place. There's no reason to cut those jobs, but they've cut them anyways. Notice how you used to be able to get 24-hour customer support with almost every big business? But I've actually had to make a bunch of phone calls to these businesses this week, and I've noticed a trend where customer service is only available for about half of that. And then when customer service is available, it takes forever to get a hold of them. And of course, right there while you're on hold for hours in some cases, they tout that they're limited staff due to all this illness stuff. But then I'm able to talk to an employee finally, and they will tell you that they are working from home. So that tells me it has nothing to do with trying to protect their own employees from the illness. It is a cost-cutting move, plain and simple. And the illness provides the perfect cover to cut costs, even if they're not related to the illness at all. And what, corporate America is so far above that? Really? If you've ever worked for a really large business before, you will know that every executive out there would love to eliminate customer service centers. They are wildly expensive, have huge turnover, And generally, even the customers don't like them. Ever notice how many startups don't have customer service you can actually talk to? Try getting somebody on the phone at Uber if you have an issue. But that's just one part of the reason why I don't think unemployment is coming back anytime soon. There are lots of businesses who know they can just work their employees that they have even harder because the job market is scarce and they really don't have another choice or another job to go to. And even when they do start making money, it's not like, oh, hey, wow, we made a profit today, so let's hire back 45 people. It's not how it works. In most cases, a lot of these businesses have to make up for huge amounts of money. So I'm just confused sometimes because I don't know where this narrative is coming from that people will just go back to spending almost 100% of their money, like, they were doing prior to the illness. Now all of a sudden people are just gonna swing back the other way and spend 100% of their money. And businesses will just rehire everyone back ASAP and just bring everything back to business as usual immediately. I want to be real with you guys, so I refuse to push fairy tale narratives to you. I hope everything snaps back super fast, but I'm not really betting on it. The second big takeaway from the week, Tesla shareholders are set to vote on advertising at the annual meeting. So this is about as political as I will ever get. Go out and vote no to advertising. There you go, politics for me. All right, I'll give you a little more detail. Some guy put in a proposal asking shareholders to vote on Tesla starting to advertise. I believe he said something like $50 per vehicle produced or something like that. Because, Tesla needs more brand awareness. Dude, my mom knows all about Tesla. Pretty sure everyone is aware. Oh, and also he thinks they need to push more marketing because there's a lot of misinformation out there about Tesla. And it's hurting the company. Wow. Last time I checked, my stock's doing pretty good. How about you guys? Yeah, I get it. It didn't go up 25% this week, but really, I never find, read, or even really see articles like that anymore. Now, a few years ago, absolutely. But now, it's kind of hard to find. Now, calm down, and don't run down to the comments. That doesn't mean that every article that says Tesla stock will drop, or that it won't hit $3,000 by the summer, or anything else that's not pro-Tesla is the best thing ever, is misinformation. We might not agree, but calm down, that's totally different than misinformation. It really just sounds like this guy gets trolled all the time on social media and has taken it way too serious. Tesla needs no more hype or advertising, and not having to advertise is one of its biggest advantages it has over the legacy automakers. So just vote no. Politics, the stealth wealth way. And the third big takeaway from the week, Tesla slashes vehicle prices. So Tesla slashed prices on vehicles this week. And immediately the hype train left the station. But I think the move, although extremely positive long-term, is signaling a short-term problem. But let me explain, let's walk through this. Long-term, I agree with everything everyone is saying for the most part. One of the biggest knocks on Tesla has been the price. They're just more expensive, and by enough of a margin that it does not make up for the gap in price. By making it more competitive with its ICE counterparts, it causes people to think twice about not upgrading to a Tesla, so it makes it much easier to justify the upgrade. Additionally, it makes it even harder for legacy automakers to compete in the EV space, since their vehicle absolutely cannot be more expensive than a Tesla, so the margin they might get is now reduced even further. And since Tesla has proven to continually improve its efficiency, its margins will probably increase long-term even at the lower price, something the legacy automakers can't do. So long-term, it's another move that will accelerate their market share grab, while simultaneously giving legacy automakers another reason to not even bother trying to produce an EV car to compete. This is a long play for Tesla, plain and simple. It's a plan that will pay huge dividends 5 to 10 years from now, with small but increasing dividends in between. All of what I just said I believe will happen, but it won't happen tomorrow, not 6 months from now, or even a year from now. Short term though, this is a different story. I'm a Tesla bull, but people are not magically going to quit buying other vehicles due to this price reduction, and it will just, be nothing but Teslas on the road next summer. Which, that'd be awesome by the way, but probably not gonna happen. So there's no reason in my mind for you to make this announcement right now during all this crisis stuff. The timing is just super odd, and that's where I see the problem. As of right now, Tesla needs every dollar it can get to hit the second quarter numbers it needs to skyrocket the stock. Additionally, there should have been pent-up demand like we saw in China once they reopened that Tesla could take advantage of. Why would you lower the price of your product to a hungry customer base that would be willing to buy at a premium? The answer is you wouldn't. The only logical explanation I can think of is that they did not get the demand bump they were hoping for and are trying to help that out. Not saying there's no demand, oh nope, not by a long stretch, just not what they expected or want. Think of it this way. If you sold cars and you have 50 people lining up to buy them every day on average after you've produced all the cars that you can. So every car you produced was sold, and you sold just enough to keep your demand at 50 people waiting. So now you haven't been able to produce a single vehicle for a month and a half. So realistically, if demand stayed the same, you would have way more than 50 people waiting in line to buy your car, right? Now keep in mind, while shut down, you still had to burn through some of your capital. It's not like those expenses just went away. Those costs didn't just disappear, so you have less cash than you did before. And remember, you're a growth company. You have big plans. You need that cash to build factories and move your headquarters and all that other good stuff. So there is no business that would restart again after having lost millions, has more people waiting on their product than ever before, and says, hey, let's roll the price back. And please don't start with the Elon is an evil genius, so he's doing something that no one expects. You're right. He is a genius, but he's also not an idiot. No one makes that decision. Why not just slash off $10K off the price of the vehicles? Hey, let's get silly. I mean, give one away to each of my subscribers. Now that's a genius move right there. So make sure you're subscribed so you can get one of those too if that happens. No promises though. In my opinion, they did it now because the demand did not swing back like they thought it would. And yes, they still have way more demand than every other automaker. But this is signaling that the demand has fallen from the highs before the illness or from what they were expecting. Again, not fallen like the rest of the automakers, but enough to have them move up the plan to lower the cost, which was the plan all along. Short term, it's signaling a minor problem. Long term, it's another reason this company will dominate. My strategy for the week. As always, this is for entertainment purposes only, as I am an idiot. So it was an interesting week last week. I didn't do anything with Tesla stock, but I observed and experienced some crazy things. We all know Tesla moves on rumors all the time, and that's just part of the game here with this stock. But now I'm seeing more and more straight up false narratives being pushed. I heard it probably 50 times this week or more. But apparently SpaceX's launch is going to send Tesla up another $50 per share or more. Last time I checked, SpaceX is a private company with some connections to Tesla, but absolutely no direct financial or tangible corporate attachment. It's not a subsidiary of Tesla, and if SpaceX gets money from NASA, Elon can't use those funds to build another gigafactory, and a SpaceX launch doesn't make people want to buy a Tesla all of a sudden. I don't think anyone goes,
man, that SpaceX launch went well. Man, screw the Porsche. Now I want to go buy a Tesla.
That's not how it goes. So this is just blowing my mind right now. But if Tesla spikes up, it doesn't have much to do with SpaceX at all. Now, don't get me wrong, I love SpaceX, or really anything space related. As an 80s kid, space was my jam, along with everyone else at the time. I'm super pumped to be doing the Virgin Galactic video next week for you guys. I'm working on it right now, and it will have some SpaceX stuff in it. But at no point in my research for that video to include SpaceX, or in my subsequent research into a SpaceX Tesla correlation on stock price, did I run across anything other than it gives some shine to Tesla. But nothing that would indicate a 5 to 10% bump in the stock price. Trust me, everyone writes about Tesla. I mean, everyone. So where is the Wall Street Journal article discussing how this weekend's launch could send Tesla stocks soaring? Where is that article anywhere? Since when does chat room banter become trading fact? I really hate when I see and hear this because it means someone is making trading decisions on what is essentially bad information. Just because the last time SpaceX did something good and Tesla also went up the next day does not mean there is a correlation. Now, to be clear and fair, It does give Tesla some shine and, some free indirect advertising as well. And it obviously improves Elon's image overall. But going so far as to say it's going to give the stock a $50 price bump or more is just ridiculous. If that's the case, a failed launch or delayed launch should sink the stock by $50 or more. I mean, the SpaceX Starship launch vehicle blew up in a test on Friday. It did happen during trading hours, so I should have sold as soon as it happened because Tesla was going down 10%, right? You cannot play the logic one way and not the other way too. Has every other setback SpaceX has hurt Tesla stock? Obviously not. Actually, after that rocket thing blew up, or whatever it was that blew up, the stock gained another $20 after the explosion. So while a successful SpaceX launch does give some indirect benefit to Tesla, assuming it is going to boost the stock like an actual Tesla major announcement would is just foolish. More positive shine? Absolutely. It making me another 10% on my investment? That's just silly. But here we are. If somehow SpaceX launch defies logic and skyrockets Tesla's stock to the moon, and the Wall Street analysts and writers are touting how SpaceX is going to send Tesla's stock to the moon on the very next launch, then I guess we are officially in Bizarro land. So I will abandon all traditional means of research and jump into the various chat rooms to see what I need to do and be trading on, and then buy accordingly. So there you have it. The chat rooms will tell me what to buy or not. So click this video right here to get the information on the stock market crash I see coming. Thanks.